I ruined the only side hustle that was actually working for me. It was making me money, I was having fun, people were genuinely using what I was creating, and I still fell into the same pattern that ruined every other side hustle that I tried. I didn't even see it happening, it just crept in slowly until the thing I loved doing started feeling like something I was forced to do. So, my goal with this video is to keep you from doing this pattern and hopefully inspire you to keep going for the right reasons. Because if I can stop you from doing what I did, then this video is worth making. But first, let me ask you something. Why do you want to make money outside of a job? Because if you're like me, it's not really even about the money as much as it's about freedom. You just don't want to be locked into the 9 to 5 grind for 40 years, working somewhere you don't want to be just to get by and do another monotonous week. And that's a good thing to want. There's nothing wrong with wanting freedom and options. But what that does, if you're not careful, is it makes you chase anything that looks like an exit, and you stop thinking about what you're building because you're only thinking about what you're running from. That's exactly where I was when I turned 18, and that's where it all started. The very first thing I tried was basically a pyramid scheme right out of high school. Someone sold me on the whole recruit 10 people, those 10 people recruit 10 people, and then you make money off all of them. And even at 18, it felt weird, like the potential felt too good to be true, and it felt like I was just selling people nonsense. So I didn't stick around with that long, I moved on. But the thing is, I didn't move on because I learned something, I just moved on to the next thing that might help me escape my dreaded 9 to 5 future. And if you've ever done that, just jumped to a new idea without understanding why the last one didn't work, that's part of the pattern. That's how it starts. After that, I got into Instagram theme pages. I had multiple pages on different topics. I was making curated content, trying to build a following. And the plan was basically to go viral, build an audience, and get brand deals. I got maybe 1,000 followers on a couple of them, and then I just fell off because I didn't really care about any of the content. I was just hoping something would blow up so I could leverage it into money. And here's what I want you to catch about that. If the only reason you're doing something is because of what it might pay you, you're gonna quit when it gets boring. And it always gets boring before it gets profitable. That's just the reality of it. Then I tried two things at around the same time. I set up a whole social media marketing agency, I built the website and everything. I had it all ready to go. I never made a single cold call, not one. At around the same time, I tried drop shipping. I got the online store set up with products and it was looking great, but I never actually pushed through to the hard part of that either. And both of them died the same way. I did all the setup, got to the part where it gets uncomfortable, and I just stopped and convinced myself that something else would be better for me. And if you're being honest with yourself right now, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Like maybe you've put effort into starting something, got everything ready, but you never actually launched it because you found a reason to stall. But the reality is, you just weren't interested enough in the actual work to push through the hard part. And you weren't interested because you didn't actually care about the customer or the service, you just wanted the money. And I'm not judging you at all. I'm telling you that I did the same thing every single time. But eventually, I found something that actually worked for me. I started making beats and selling them to rappers. And this one didn't feel like the other ones. I genuinely enjoyed making music. I wasn't sitting there forcing myself to do it. I would open up the software and just get lost for hours. I wouldn't even notice the time going by. I started making real connections. I was getting sales, passive income. People actually wanted what I was making. And the reason it worked out is so obvious in hindsight. I was having fun and providing value to other people that wanted to use the stuff I was making. That's literally it. I was enjoying the process. So the work didn't feel like work. And because of that, I stayed consistent. And because I stayed consistent, it grew. And that right there is the thing that I really want you to hear. Because when you find something where the work doesn't feel like you're being punished, you don't have to force consistency. It just happens naturally. And consistency is the only thing that actually builds something. I had finally found the thing that was working for me. I was happy doing it, but I still destroyed it. And this is the part that matters most, because this is the mistake that you're not going to see coming. Once I started seeing real money from the beats, something shifted in my head. I stopped making the kind of beats that I actually liked making, and I started making what I thought would sell more. I was checking analytics all the time, comparing myself to other producers, obsessing over numbers, and slowly, the thing that used to be fun just started feeling forced, like I was being made to do it instead of choosing to do it. And the passion that made it work in the first place got replaced by optimization. And this is what nobody tells you. You can actually find the side hustle that works and then ruin it by caring more about the money than the thing itself. I didn't get outcompeted, nobody took it from me. I just got greedy, and greed made it tedious, and tedious made me burn out. Same cycle, same ending, except this time it was a huge letdown because it was actually working. So, if you're building something right now that you enjoy, protect that. Seriously, because the second the money becomes the only thing you care about, you're going to start optimizing the fun right out of it. And once the fun is gone, you're just back to forcing yourself. And you already know how that ends. Real quick, if this is hitting at all, a sub would genuinely mean the world to me. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. After the Beats thing fell apart, I tried a few more random things, some X accounts, a couple other ideas, same thing every time. And eventually, I just focused on my career, which honestly did really well for me. But here's what I want you to take from all of this. I wasn't lazy during this whole time. I actually built real skills like marketing, design, content creation, networking, music production. I got better at a lot of things. The problem was never that I wasn't capable. The problem was that I was so focused on the outcome, the money, the freedom, getting out, that I never once thought about the value I was bringing to the table. Every single thing I tried, the first thought in my head was, how do I make money from this? Or how can this get me out of the 9 to 5 trap? It was never, how do I actually help someone with this? And if that sounds familiar to you, just sit with that for a second, because it might seem like a small thing, but it really changes everything. When you're only in it for the money, you quit the second it gets hard. There's nothing keeping you there, no real reason to push through. When you care about what you're doing and who it helps, the hard part just feels different. It doesn't feel like punishment, it just feels like a normal part of building something. That's what the Beats thing taught me. The one time I led with something I actually cared about, it worked. And the moment I flipped to chasing the money, it died. So, if you're in this right now, here's what I'd tell you. Stop asking yourself, what can make me money? And start asking, what can I do that actually provides value for someone? Because if you can find that thing, you won't have to force consistency. It'll just happen. And if you saw my video about the restart loop, you know, the loop doesn't get beaten by intensity, it gets beaten by consistency. So, yeah, almost 10 years and a dozen different side hustles later, I finally get it. It's not that wanting money or wanting freedom is a bad thing. The problem was that I kept putting the focus on the money instead of providing value, the work that actually matters. And I think that's just one of those things you have to learn. Maybe not the hard way like I did, but you have to learn it. The stuff that actually works in life works because you care about it, not because you figured out some perfect strategy, not because you found the right business model. It works because you gave enough of yourself to it that the consistency just happened naturally. And I think that's true for everything, not just side hustles. It goes for relationships, health, faith, whatever it is. The things that meaningfully grow are the things that you actually show up for, not because you have to, because you want to. So I encourage you to be consistent, keep your priorities in check, and really try putting some value out there. You have a lot to offer. If you've been through something similar, or you found something that actually works for you, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.